is a good podcast. Welcome to Mouse Out of Wedlock. This is a good podcast.
What was the thing we were talking about seconds ago that I said, oh, same pod?
There's a lot of things.
Yeah, there were so many things.
There's a lot of things.
Oh, how did I forget both of them?
What else did you forget?
What else did you forget?
Okay, well then I'll launch it with there was a moment about 4 minutes into Top Gun Maverick that I realized we are in the golden age of cinema once again, and I can describe the exact moment to you.
Oh boy,
Tom Cruise. He's a cool dude. He's doing Tom Cruise stuff. He steps into like his garage. There's his motorcycle, and as he's mounting his motorcycle, there's a sticker on the back that has the number 55 and then one of those red circles with the line through it, implying that he can't drive 55.
What?
You guys don't know that song?
What?
What are you talking about?
I Can't Drive 55? The famous song from the 80s. I believe it's Sammy Hagar.
You wanted to start the show with an 80s song reference?
You guys don't... Okay, I might buy that you don't know it. It is Sammy Hagar. I have no idea how you could possibly...
it.
I don't even know who Sammy Hagar is.
Yeah, I get it that I'm old.
He was one of the Van Halen singers.
I don't care about Van Halen.
I do like Sammy Hagar, but I don't remember that song.
Sorry.
And I understand how that is the golden age of cinema. And I have...
drive 55! And that's the whole point is he drives faster than that, implying that Tom Cruise is into speed. He's got a need for it.
Yeah, that is true.
I thought it was I Can't Drive 55 because he was old.
No. That song is from the 80s, not from the 80-year-olds.
Here's my alternative look. You said it's the golden age of cinema once again.
And we're returning to it, yeah.
I actually think we're in the twilight.
You think so?
Yeah, I think it's actually sun's coming down on films. Our last action hero, our last action star is making movies about I can still beat the computers, but like time's only ticking. Tom Cruise ain't gonna be around forever.
They really don't touch much on the he's better than the robots thing. That's like kind of mentioned at the beginning and then never really brought up again for the rest of the movie.
And what's funny is that mission should have been carried out by robots.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But
was there a drone strike scene in the movie?
No,
there wasn't, because they are all about the real pilots.
Yeah, for sure.
I love that movie. I'm so glad you liked it.
I do want to go see it again.
Yeah,
in fact, I am going next week with my family.
Well, we can see it again before that.
Mm-hmm. If we go tomorrow.
What's the most you've ever watched a movie in theaters?
I saw.
Times.
I want to say Iron Man 2 or 3, like 3 or 4 times in the theaters, because it was a summer where the AC was out in the theater, so they were just like giving out free tickets for people who bought it.
I see.
So I was just like, cool, I'll see it a few times. I saw the Lego movie, I want to say 3 times. Those were all paid for with different friend groups.
Jake's a Chris Pratt stan.
Yeah, that's true. I saw The Dark Knight probably like 3 or 4 times. I think I saw Avatar twice, so that's now in the
I don't think I've ever been more than twice to a movie.
I think twice is about usually my max.
I saw Indiana Jones and A Kingdom of the Crystal Skull twice. I slept through it the second time. I went with
that makes sense.
I went with my dad. I was like, this sucks. And then my friend wanted to go see it, so his mom took us, and I was like, ugh, this sucks. So it was a pretty empty theater, so I kicked out a bunch of the seats, and I laid down, and then she like got mad at me in the middle of the movie. She was like, I paid for this. You watch this. But
Tweeby boy.
But it was Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Like, it was a pretty fun movie up until the moment that they say, maybe the real treasure was the knowledge.
I watched Gamer 3 times in the theater for some fucking reason.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, me neither.
Long time ago.
That's Star Wars.
Yeah. In a galaxy far away, Naboo was under an attack. So I saw Gamer, and what that was Gerard Butler. This was peak Gerard Butler.
Yeah.
Where he's a prisoner.
Pre or post Geostorm?
Pre-Geostorm. Pre-Geostorm. I love me some Jerry Butts, man.
Jerry Butts.
Jerry Butts. This is peak his career. It's post 300, pre-Geostorm.
Mm-hmm.
He is this prisoner. And he's a badass prisoner in this universe where prisoners can commute their sentence if they survive this like free-for-all guns battle in which they're controlled by children far away. because it's like
That sounds cool.
it's like you're playing Call of Duty, but the guys in the Call of Duty game are real.
It's
Oh,
like
I saw a trailer for
Yeah,
this.
it's like a spin on what's it called?
Battle Royale.
Augmented reality, where it's VR, but you are controlling another human who's actually dying. So they don't have to put any money into the graphics.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
And it has like real kinetic, frenetic energy. And I'm not like, I don't like this movie. I think it's a bad movie, but I've seen it 3 times in theaters.
Okay.
Because at the time in high school, I wanted like every friend group would go, and I'm like, oh, I'm lonely. And so I would go and see it.
For sure.
And then see it a 3rd time, and I'm like, this movie fucking sucks. This is such a bad movie. Why am I here? Why am I spending this time?
I think the Lego movie is the only one of that list of rewatches that I don't actively regret. Maybe The Dark Knight Twice would have been worth it because I was a kid and IMAX. I saw it in theaters, then I saw it in IMAX, so that was definitely worth it to see it in the big one. But the Lego movie, I enjoyed every single time I saw it. That movie rocks.
Remember when they made the Lego movie like a YouTube ad for a month? And you could just like click on a random YouTube video and the ad would pop up and it was the entire Lego movie.
I've seen that for a few different movies.
Yeah.
I like that strategy.
It's a kind of cool thing.
Yeah, I've definitely
weird,
gotten. I've never finished a movie, but I have gotten sucked into a movie in the middle of trying to watch a different video. And then like, oh wait, what? Like the first lull, I'm like, oh yeah, it still says skip ad.
So do you watch the whole thing, or do you go seek out the video to watch the
I don't.
thing
I've
to get
never
rid of the skip ad? Because they can add ads to the ad that is you're already adding.
You're right. So it's undisturbed.
Yeah, it's Inception.
What are you asking?
It's Inception rules. So there's an ad break, and if one of those ads is a movie, there are ads in that movie, but those ads feel longer.
That's right.
Like by 7 times or something.
And then if you get a movie ad within your movie ad,
oh, then you are an ad hell, dude. You are there forever.
Got to delete your browser to get out of that.
oh fuck, ooh fuck.
Should we introduce the show? I guess.
Oh, hey,
no, we'll wait a few minutes.
yeah.
Welcome to Mouse Out of Wedlock. This is the show that you know and love.
You love us, right?
Please love us.
Like and subscribe if you love us.
To my left is a man who records his voice for other people to listen to. It is Xander Nolan.
It is me.
And on the right is a man who captures other people's voice
Thank
to
you.
put them into the internet. And his name is Colt Joyce.
It sounds like with Colt, he's like a medieval fantasy.
Yeah, that's what I was describing.
He's
His-
like, I capture the voice and I put it upon the internet.
Voices of the children, and I put it on the internet.
and sitting here in my chair is a man, Jakeb White. Thank you very much for joining us today for the podcast.
Sorry if I'm low energy. My co-host left me baking in my car for 30 minutes
Now,
before we started the
40
show.
minutes.
I knew this was going to happen. Go ahead. I assume, Xander, you want to bring a Colt course case in front of me.
No. I wasn't going to do it.
And I deserve it. I'll take it. I'll take the L.
To start with this, Xander was also severely late.
I was late. I woke up this morning at 7 a.m. and I was like, oh fuck, I'm getting this day started good.
You woke up at 7?
Yeah, I'm
Damn.
getting this day started fucking good, and I go start getting ready, and I do the stuff. I journal, and then I'm like, well, I got like another hour.
I got time.
I had time, so I like laid down real quick.
You fell back asleep.
And I fell
That's
back
so
asleep,
funny.
and like and that's never happened where I've done a full routine and then I went back to bed.
I can never do that. Like if I do my morning routine, I'm up for the rest of the day. but-
Usually that's the same for me, but man, I also stayed up a little late last night, so I get up.
Well, to be fair, yeah.
Then I texted the crew,
Yeah.
hey, I'm gonna be late. And then I got my morning coffee and I rushed over here, and poor little Colt has his back door open, and he's huddled in the back of his car. He's just like,
What do you want me to be doing?
Yeah.
he's sweating and he's so sad. And then I
Gas
walk
prices,
up,
I can't
and you
be
know who
running my
isn't
AC.
here yet? I am 15 minutes late, and you know who still isn't here yet? Jakeb Wheat.
Wheate. And I understand. I'm the one with the key. I should be here on time. My morning, my story. I woke up. No, I set an alarm. I set an alarm for 8:45. I had stuff to do this morning. I have no memory of that going off. All I remember is like being kind of half awake and thinking to myself, it's nice to be awake. I should probably try to get out of bed because I've been normally waking out like at 9. So I was like, I got some time before the podcast. And then I roll over and look at my phone. It's like 10:08. And the last message is you saying I'm all alone.
I was taking like a nap in the back of my car before Xander got here. I didn't fall asleep till like 3 a.m.
I fully expected the whole car battery setup to be going on out front, and y'all had started the episode before I got here.
I need to start taking that around with me.
Yeah, because I will be late
Andrew's
again. These 2 podcast recordings that I have been late to have been, I think, maybe the only things this year that I have been late to.
How close have you been to being late to the other recordings of the show?
Not. I'm like always awake and ready to do it, except for those 2 times, which 2 out of 11 ain't bad.
So I guess the question is,
it's not good.
Well, yeah, but it's only getting better, except for today.
Except for today when you nuked your percentages.
Yeah, well,
it's okay. I don't actually really care.
I care because it seems like. Are you okay, Jake?
my buddy is in town.
We care about you, bud.
Well, that's cool. Yeah,
I don't actually give a fuck. Yeah,
I care about you, Jake, and I want to make sure you're okay.
Thanks, guys.
I want to make sure you're okay.
If you were unrepentant when you come in, then it'd be a different situation.
Oh yeah,
we'd be slapping you around.
But I was ready to own.
You came in dressed in your full Banana Man costume, and we said, we can't be mad at this guy.
Now, I need you to be clear, because any listeners of the show that are also my friends know that I do, in fact, own a banana costume.
Oh, really?
That is not what I'm wearing.
Oh.
I have yellow corduroy pants, and I've got a yellow athletic sweater on.
That is that is not an athletic sweater.
Really?
That's
you want to touch it? You want to feel it?
Is it moisture wicking? What are you saying?
No, it's a regular sweater. I got Colt to touch me. I'll tell you the fabric makeup.
Yeah, you literally cannot get mad at Jake with this outfit on. When he
know.
walked out, you're just like, you want to get mad. You're just like, this fucking Jake piece of shit. And then he comes out in this full bright yellow, neon yellow.
I apologize to everyone. This is 100% cotton.
Okay. You called him Big Bird. I called him Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, at the exact same time, we both had like burns ready to go. I was like, what the fuck are you? The general consensus is you look like a children's character today.
You do. You
Yeah.
look like you're out of a picture book.
Yeah. So what about it?
We just wanted to
We're
point
just
that out.
talking about it. We're just saying what we feel.
You guys know about my past, right?
Your past. What are you saying?
When I was in the big PC. PB.
What?
What? The
The big PC.
Big PB, not PC.
I still
big,
don't know.
yeah, what the fuck are you talking about?
This has been a weird episode from you, to be honest.
I was raised
When
by
are you get on track here?
I was raised by an author in a picture book.
What the fuck are you saying?
I grew up in a picture book.
I have no
You guys don't know about
idea
this?
what you're trying to reference right now.
We've been talking about it for
The big PB, or are you saying P? You're shortening.
picture book.
It's so fucking confusing because you said something else, and no one has ever shortened picture book to PB in their entire life.
I do all the time. I always
I know
talk about-
PBR, Pat's Blue Ribbon, but this
That's
PB.
picture book
Reader.
I'm a PBR, and I'm proud of it. I love being a PBR.
Yeah, he's
Oh
a real
my
PBR guy. Okay, well, on to something a little more serious.
Okay, yeah.
Do we know what this is?
What do you want to talk
So,
about?
I actually have something to talk about.
Okay.
Something crazy to me happened this last week.
Mm-hmm.
So, I have a grandmother. Just kidding, she died a few years ago. So thanks,
Timing
Cole.
on that was bad.
Not great.
I was trying to make a joke
it's-
the other way.
It's fine. She was old, and also we never really connected or anything after adulthood.
My grandparents are racist. I don't.
Yeah. So yeah, my grandmother loved a Fox News.
Fox News.
Fox News.
Yeah, it's a lot more fun to say it that way. And was generally willing to disown me when I told her that in my first election I voted for Hillary Clinton. But she died during the pandemic, not of COVID. And then I remembered that she in 2017 recorded a podcast episode because are you familiar with the medical coding community, either of you?
I'm familiar that is a job.
Okay, do you know what it is?
Yeah, there's like a specific codes on like medical files and for billing.
Exactly.
So like it's like a whole system that you have to learn if you want to get involved in the industry.
And every injury is different. That's their entire job, is taking the reports and then matching them to specific codes for insurance purposes. I remember her telling me the funniest one that she could think of was like self-inflicted fire injury while on skis.
I'm trying to figure out how that happened.
Yeah, I had no idea. But she, in like 2015, 16, started a Facebook group that was jobs for American medical coders that at the time of the recording of the podcast got up to 17,000 members. About the time she died, it was at 25,000 members. And the dude in the podcast mentions that is at 17,000, 10% of the medical coding community in the U.S.
Wow.
And this my 70-year-old grandmother, who is totally tech illiterate, who lives like basically on a farm, started and ran this thing. So they pulled her in for an episode of this podcast that's about medical coding.
How'd she do? Was she cool on the podcast?
She was very much herself.
That's cool.
She wasn't racist or anything, which is cool.
She wasn't just like dropping slurs on this medical coding podcast.
And she would never
That's
really
good.
be the kind of person who just drops a slur for
I wasn't
fun.
trying to imply that.
But so I've been listening to that over the course of this last week, and it's been really weird for the first time since my grandmother died like 2 years ago to hear her voice again and hear her talk. She talks about me for a little bit of it. Which was
wow.
nice.
Yeah. I love
That's sweet.
I love that kind of stuff, like having it. That's one of the reasons I really enjoy this is like
when we're old.
Someone's going to listen to us when we're gone.
Well, even now, like, re-listening to a friend mentioned that, hey, I'm going to start from the beginning. And they started from the beginning of the podcast. And I was like, man, I feel like such a different person than that person at the beginning of the podcast.
Yeah.
I feel the exact
and
same.
it's like,
Sure.
I'm a journaler. I journal a lot.
Yeah.
And so I like looking back at the journals and being like, wow, I love that. Like, it's interesting to see the headspace. It's just fun having that ability to reference your past a little easier. I used to never do that. So having like these video recordings that we now have of us and now these like podcast recordings, I like seeing my life,
Yeah.
It's very narcissistic and I think it's great.
I don't think that's narcissistic. I just like looking back on like that was the whole thing with Good Evening. It's just like, let's interview people we like in town so we have some kind of memory of this period of life, because I just know like Andrew and I we'll hang out until one of us moves, but eventually like one of us is going to move, and like it's cool to have a record of like this time.
Same.
And in this vein, the thing that I thought of while I was listening to it was I should do a podcast style recording with all of the old people in my life. Just sit down with an interview of them to listen.
That'd be kind of cool.
Because it's cool. I sent it to my dad and my uncle, both of who, just like me, had not heard her voice since she died. None of us have like any like recordings of her or anything. And they were both
sweet.
like wrecked by it because it's their mom's voice again.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty cool thing to do. I think in this age of technology, it's easy to think, oh, people are taking pictures all the time, people are recording all the time, we're just gonna be able to remember everything. But unless you're actively doing it, like your grandparents aren't sitting there taking selfie recordings, talking to themselves most of the time. So it's cool to have this. It'd be cool to have my grandfather be able to tell about Vietnam or something, and then have that for me and my cousins and then my kids or whatever.
For sure.
That was a nice little combo.
That was a little genuine.
I enjoyed that.
I have to step out.
Oh no. Hey, Colt.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Before
Sorry.
Before that, I've seen you. You've been very shit, Spock.
Ooh, it's me, the ghost of Pamela Coldzar.
Again, who the fuck is
Yeah,
this?
who?
What are you talking about?
Oh, sorry, I thought I was famous because of my appearance on the non-classified podcast. It's me, Jake's grandmother.
Oh.
So, boys, who wants some snacks?
What kind of snacks you got working with?
Chicken wings from the oven.
What?
Did you?
That sounds
Is it
awesome.
hand battered or did you get it pre-frozen?
I got them from Mike Tyson.
What?
Is he attached to the Tyson's brand of chicken?
I
No.
don't
So it
think
is
so.
frozen though.
It's frozen. That is correct.
I can get those anytime. I was
Are they
hoping
boneless or bone-in?
They're bone-in.
Bone-in frozen chicken
You
wings.
got bone-in chicken I can't even say it. I can't even. My brain won't let me say it.
This is like the how it peels off the bone is just gonna be disgusting. It's not gonna
like
work.
slippery and
Yeah.
slimy. Has anyone seen my grandson?
I think he's pissing.
He's if you want to go haunt him,
No.
you want to go haunt him?
Did you want to talk to him about something? You want to leave a message for us to tell him?
Yeah, I was checking in to see if he's finally finished his degree. That's my unfinished business, and I'm bound to the earth until he finally goes and gets that piece of paper.
I can 100% say, and you don't even need to talk to him about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
He went to cosmetology school.
Huh?
He dropped his degree, went to cosmetology school,
What?
dropped out of that.
Are you kidding me?
Now he's a gas station attendant.
Oh.
Yeah.
And just like, I forget the town, but it was a really bad. Buddha? Was it Buddha? Ooh, that's not
no.
Yeah.
When I stayed in Austin for a period of time in about 2011, I lived in North Austin with my son who lives in town, but I worked in South Austin, and I took Lamar the whole way. I refused to get on any of the highways. So Buddha is terrible. Also, cosmetology school, while it is an important trade, does not count as finishing a certified degree.
Oh, he also dropped out of that, is what I'm saying.
He didn't finish.
Yeah, he didn't
Yeah,
finish.
he didn't
He said it was too hard for his little pea brain. And that's not me saying it. That's
a direct
Jakeb.
quote.
I'm bound
Verbatim.
to this mortal coil for as long as time goes on.
So if he dies
Yes.
without finishing his degree,
Yeah.
are you forever like a ghost? And there's no way we can finish your biz?
Well,
Yeah, what happens to you then?
I believe that the Ghost University has a nice accredited program that he could get into. He's such a smart boy. I know he talks about his little pea brain, but it's the little pea brain that could. That's what we always called him.
P for powerful, you know?
A P for picture.
Yeah.
P.
He grew up in a
PB for
picture
picture
book. You
book.
boys know that, right?
Get out of here, you fucking old
This-
lady.
this-
Oh, I
crazy.
gotta go. Vote Republican.
No! No! All your dreams came true.
Hey,
Yeah.
boys, I'm back. What's up?
Your grandma came by and she hit on us.
What? She
Yeah.
hit on you?
Yeah.
So my grandfather, this is actually kind of related. The grandfather, the one who is a widowed.
Widowed.
Yeah. He was supposed to go have a steak dinner with my dad on Father's Day.
Mhm.
And then apparently he blew my dad off to go get some, as my dad put it, 78-year-old puss that he got from the app. I think it's called Silver Foxes.
Whoa.
And I was like,
That's a lot to take
and I was like, hell yeah, Papa. Way to go, my man.
Hey, Colt, I
Yeah.
love your Twitter.
in. Thank you.
I love your Twitter, Colt. I love you.
I appreciate
I
it.
also hate that it, like, because I'm so engaged with your Twitter, the
that
algorithm.
you see all of my bullshit.
yeah,
I'm sorry. That's bad for you.
it's just like the algorithm just keeps showing me you engaging with Jordan Peterson. I'm like, I don't want Jordan Peterson on my feed.
I thought I killed him off. I thght we won the battle, and now he's
No.
back. He's like a cancer. He spread to
He's-
another form of
I
Twitter.
hate Twitter. I'm never gonna be. Oh wait, no, I can do it.
This fucking guy.
Wait, he's like, he's got that not
Beautiful.
beautiful.
I can't do his voice.
He kind of sounds like Kermit.
Oh.
What are we going to do when the Trump supporters decide to move away from Trump? Are we going to be open to them, or are we going to let them fall through the cracks? What are we going to do?
He's so vile. He's so gross.
Excuse me, you're hunching a lot. That's why you're not getting any puss, young man.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You need to put your shoulders back, and then you can get some puss. And you need to make sure you're eating meat, but you don't go down on
Only
a
meat.
lady.
Only beef. That's the only
eat
thing.
beef. Only eat beef.
I missed it for a minute. Is this DJ Khaled?
No, this is
Hey,
Jordan,
what's up,
hateful bigot Jordan Peterson.
Jordan Peterson in the house?
Oh, that makes more sense. Wait, he's against eating puss?
I don't know, but he probably is afraid of it. If I was him,
Ben Shapiro is. Remember when Ben Shapiro's wife was like, "I've never been wet before."
Okay, yeah, that was about moisture. That's not about.
What do you mean? We can imply.
That's such a soy boy behavior.
Does he say soy boy?
You need to make
Probably.
sure you eat the beef.
Well, I'm sorry for infiltrating your Twitter feed with terrible commentary,
That's okay.
Xander.
I'm a man, and I did not cry.
Oh, good.
I did not cry.
Good.
If I cried and let it affect me,
Hey, Jordan, can I talk to you about the weird podcast you do with your daughter where you talk about what makes you hard?
We like to talk about what makes each other horny. I think that is a healthy thing between father and daughter.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of curious, like, why are you doing the show with your daughter and then going on another show where like a girl that looks exactly like your daughter calls you a DILF? Do you like that? Why are you doing that?
Also, follow-up question. Do you have your daughter's phone number?
I appreciate these questions.
Yeah.
I cannot comprehend more than one question at a time
I'd like to show you a photo
because I'm logical, and I must address each question one at a time.
For sure.
So I'm going to start from the bottom.
Okay.
Do I have my daughter's number? I do not.
Okay.
I don't
sad.
believe in having any females' numbers on my phones.
That would be disrespectful if you did.
It would be disrespectful.
Yeah.
I don't believe in having menstruating people on my phone.
Okay. I don't want to like just keep coming at you, but
Yes.
like I want to show you the cover of your book with your daughter.
Yeah, I'm hot. Look how hot I am.
That's interesting though.
I'll describe the photo for everybody
for
involved.
Sure. Yeah.
It is Our Carnivore Diet by Jordan Peterson and Michaela Peterson.
Yeah.
My daughter is Michaela, and she is prominently featured for her perfect body. And
Who did this Photoshop? It's so
genetic.
bad.
I did it. I wouldn't say it's bad for somebody who has never done Photoshop before. I did it on my phone.
Right.
I put these two pictures together.
But why are you nude with a towel around your waist? That's what I have to ask.
Well, that happened to be the best photo I could take within the last 3 to 5 years.
I see.
That's why.
Because you've been on benzodiazepine.
They're okay. There's I don't appreciate this gotcha journalism.
Wait, are you on antidepressants?
No, he doesn't believe in that.
Meat is the way, my friend.
Yeah. Tell us more about benzos.
Well, what do you need to know about benzos aside that they're good?
Do you feel like they should have been called Jordinzos? I assume it really gets you mad that Ben Shapiro's getting all this free press from all those.
I think it's a bunch of bullshit. I've been around longer than him, and Ben Shapiro does not get his wife wet.
That's true.
Yeah. Does he get his daughter wet?
Big sucked into a portal. No. Hell's opened up.
Sinkhole just for him.
You guys ever seen Quicksand?
No.
I haven't seen Quicksand. Have you?
One time when I was a kid, it wasn't quicksand to say,
Okay.
but there was a huge rain event at this lake that I hung out at, Lake Cherokee, and then we went into one of the fields where there was a lot of sand, and there were pits that were being formed, and they were like wet mud pits.
That's cool.
And I tried to I don't even remember how. I think I may have fallen into one, and I was being dragged down into it. I must have been like 10 when this was happening.
Wow.
Imagine that's how Jake died.
And my buddies were
also do a quicksand.
Oh yeah, we named the pit Steve. I remember.
Let's cut to that. Let's cut to that alternate universe. Hey Colt.
Hey, what's up?
It's weird that we just started this 2-person podcast.
It is really weird. Man, I'm kind of tore up about that one guy that we kind of met at improv, and then he just kind of like fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to him. I interned with him once.
Yeah, I mean, he seemed really cool, and he seemed like he really wanted to do improv, like long term.
Yeah,
and then he was telling me about this trip he was going to take. He was going to go out to like some swamp area and kind of just explore around.
He seemed like a person that would hang out in a swamp.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's me, Cookie Crazy
Whoa.
Larry.
Hey.
You guys called me, said the podcast was happening, and I thought I'd drop in and come be a guest.
I love this guy.
We weren't even planning on having a guest. Thank you for being here.
I love this guy.
You know, I only met you because I interned with Xander after starting that second time. And
who are you?
Cookie Crazy Larry?
Yeah, Cookie Crazy Larry. He's been part of the improv community.
Oh.
You may not recognize me because I'm not in my stage persona. That's what I usually do around the theater.
Yeah.
But this is who I really am. I love hanging out with you guys. I'm so glad we met, and probably only because of that time I met Xander, only because that one intern didn't show up.
Yeah, if that one intern didn't show up, I wouldn't have met Cookie Crazy Larry. It would suck. Let's cut to the universe in which that person Jake had stayed.
We're falling down the rabbit hole,
Crazy
boys.
Larry, I never met.
And so anyway, as I was getting out of that
normal
sinkhole,
it's the normal show.
as I was climbing out of that
good.
sinkhole, well, no, I fell in, and the mud had come up to above my knees, and I was like, guys, I think I'm stuck in here because it's kind of a pit. It's like hard to climb the walls. So my friends reach down and grab me, and they pull me out, and I lose one of my shoes in the process. It ate my shoe.
Damn.
That's my whole story. I didn't die. I don't even think I almost died, but I did. I did get my shoe lost to the pit.
Ah, that's cool. There was quicksand in a movie I watched yesterday, The Mummy. With
Oh,
Tom Cruise.
Yes.
Wait, Tom Cruise, is he in the first one?
No, I watched all
in
four
the
Mummy movies yesterday.
Yeah, he's in the, well, did you watch the OG one?
Yeah, the 30s one.
Oh, you
did?
marathoned yesterday.
Yeah.
So you watched 5.
No, we didn't watch Scorpion King.
Well, so there's
the 30s one.
There's 30th one, then the Mummy 2.
No, there's a 50s one with
50s one.
from Anchor, which is like a
Oh,
British.
you're not watching the
No,
sequels.
We didn't watch sequels. We just watched
that's
each,
where
each reboot.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so
Which one was your favorite?
I kind of liked the 30s one, honestly.
Nice.
I thought it was really good. The Brendan Fraser one's obviously like a masterpiece.
Yeah, I think that's one of the best
Never seen it.
just action adventure movies. It's like
you gotta see it.
Yeah, it's like genuinely a good action adventure movie.
I would say it's better than almost all of the Indiana Jones movies and has a similar vibe.
Awesome. That's
It's super cool. It's really good.
I mean, like, it's so weird to think of this as like that. You know, I grew up with it, but like it's kind of classic now in how it's done, like that 90s way. And even then, it was a throwback to the original,
For sure.
like, swashbuckling adventure. Compared to like movies now, even action wise, it's just like you don't have the fun adventure.
Yeah.
Marvel wishes it could have as like a 10th of the charm that The Mummy has.
Yeah, that's true. Marvel just needs to stop making dumb quips every time they do something in a movie.
It, like-
a bit better.
No, you're telling me he doesn't quip all over that movie?
They quip.
They quip, but like
I complained about the quipping on the show.
in the 90s one.
No, on the on Marathon, I complained about the Brendan Fraser having too many quippy things happening in it.
I definitely I don't fully agree, but I understand. I feel like at least with The Mummy, it earns a lot of the
Sure. Yeah.
thing, and not every character is quipping.
Very true. Very true.
Like I mean, the best joke is like big action scene on the riverboat, right?
Mhm.
Big action scene on the riverboat. The two like the Brendan Fraser's squad makes it off, and then the other American squad they make it off.
Yeah.
And Benny's on like
Benny.
I got all the horses, and Brent,
On the wrong side of the fucking river.
you're on the wrong side of the river. It's like
That's a good
just
movie.
the build up to that, and just like the payoff is it has just like that perfect like fun action scene, great punchline at the end. Next act, it was just like
It's very enjoyable to watch. Good pacing.
great. That's the best way. It's like phenomenal pacing.
Yeah. The new one, not good.
Not good. I love that.
I love that you know that.
I love the trailer. So they released a trailer for The Mummy, the Tom Cruise one. I don't know if you know this, Jake.
Are you familiar with the Tom Cruise, the Mummy?
Only right now.
The dark the dark universe cinematic cinematic universe.
The Dark Universe Cinematic Universe. We must prevent the Dark Universe Cinematic Universe from
my
coming
God.
to fruition. Man.
Dark Universe, Cinematic Universe.
Have you
Boom, I said it first try. You guys suck.
Yeah, we do. The Tom Cruise one, they dropped a trailer for it a long time ago, prior to the movie releasing, and it didn't have sound effects correctly put in. It was like a
sound design, no music.
yeah. It was just sound, no music, and I'm sorry. It was
just like the vocal sting, I think.
Yeah, it's just like the vocal and maybe like some very minimal sound effects. Like they just hadn't they uploaded the wrong version.
And the scene was a plane crash.
And it's just like
so funny.
without any context, just Tom Cruise just like in a noiseless like airplane crash. It was like
Like a lady gets sucked out of the plane and she goes,
ah!
How does that get past people?
I don't even know. That was one of the weird how did that happen?
Conspiracy theorists to me.
For marketing? For viral marketing?
They're like, this trailer's gonna suck. What if we uploaded a fucked off one?
You might be right, honestly. We talked about this like way early in the show, but like I don't even understand how companies marketing right now makes zero sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like half the people are trying to do the old thing, and half the people are just trying to be cringy on main, so people interact with them. I don't understand like who is working at these companies doing social media. We've created way too many degrees.
No, yeah, I mean,
like these people are not good at their jobs or qualified.
I know all the people who work at marketing for companies like these, and they, they're all nice individuals.
Sure,
but it's just
their
all bullshit.
Their incentive is like innately broken. Like you're trying to make your company have more market share, or but that's not like a positive position. Like your company doing well is not like something you need to be marketing. Like just market your product. I don't understand what's going on.
Think Don Draper would survive today's marketing?
I don't know who Don Draper is.
Don Draper from Mad Men?
You're fucking killing me.
Don
with these
Draper from Mad Men?
references. I haven't seen Mad
Don
Men.
Draper is not a reference to my personal life that I expected.
Don Draper, I got that one, buddy.
Thanks, man.
Finally, you make a reference we understand, Big Bird.
Okay, so I'll tangent away. You guys,
Okay.
I think that they're probably not the only person to ever say this. I think McDonald's could stop advertising today.
Yeah.
I think you're probably right.
And it would not affect their sales at all.
I feel like I barely see a Burger King ad, but I always see a McDonald's ad. And they're both doing
Yeah.
fine.
McDonald's does their ads are good. Like if you're looking at ads, like they're well made.
Yeah, okay, on
Right.
the scheme of things.
Yeah.
But, like, what's the point?
What's the point? I don't know.
Oh, where am I going to get a burger at 10 p.m.?
Did you see in Russia, McDonald's left Russia, obviously, because of the Ukraine war, but they took all of the existing McDonald's locations and just like slapped a different logo on top of it. Like
Hell
they're serving like sauce packets that they've like used a pin to like scratch out the McDonald's.
That is awesome.
Yeah. They're like using the ingredients that are still
It's like
All right.
Coming to America. Have you seen Coming to America?
No, but
No.
I kind of know that reference a little bit.
Have you seen it? Eddie Murphy movie. He's an.
I know it's good.
Yeah, it's great comedy. I haven't seen the second one, and I'm sure it's not good. But they work at this McDonald's owned by this like black business owner, and it essentially like to get around copyright, it's McDonald's with an MAC on it, and they're like, no, you don't work at McDonald's, you work at McDonald's.
McDonald's.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty funny.
That's good.
That's a really funny movie.
Do you think it's that on the nose in Russia? Do you think it's like one letter off?
You are welcome to a McDonald's.
No, I think it's they changed the logo to it looks like the Marriott logo actually. Let me pull it up.
Welcome to Marriott. Would you like
can you pull it up? You probably have a quicker
sure.
time.
Would you like a hamburger?
a hamburger?
We have sauce packets.
I feel like we should still care about the Ukraine war.
I would yeah.
I'd love to. I'd
It's
love to
just-
have mental space to care about the Ukraine war.
It really is just like you're, to quote Kate Bush, you're running up that hill and there's just nothing but mud sliding down. And like, you're just like, I want to care about that problem.
Yeah.
But this new problem comes and you're like, I want to care about this problem. Then the new problem comes. It's, I feel like, and maybe I'm just getting the pulse wrong, but I feel like everyone I know is mentally exhausted right now. Like every single person.
I don't think you're getting the pulse wrong. I think you're pretty spot on.
Well,
with that.
this'll wake you guys up.
Yeah, tell me about McDonald's.
So apparently they shut down. They went out. A guy who was the CEO of McDonald's Russia. He I guess bought a bunch of them. He like franchised them essentially. He bought the locations, maybe not even franchised. And the new chain is I'm gonna kill this. Xuno and Tachka, which loosely translate to tasty, and that's it.
That's a great name.
Yeah.
I would go to. I would.
I would love
I
a
would
tasty.
eat a
And that's
burger
it. Welcome to Tasty. And that's it. Do not question it.
in Mother Russia. Burger issue.
That's an old meme, but it checks out.
They apparently did really well after they opened.
It's
Yeah.
one of those.
It's just McDonald's food, so for sure.
Like here's my fucking cynical brain going right now.
Yeah.
McDonald's, like they already saw, like might not have been doing particularly well in Russia anyways. So they're like, how can we make some money when they pull out? So they pull out
Yeah.
and they make money off this dude buying a bunch of property. And then he starts making a bunch of money off of these locations that are already essentially built out for kitchens,
Right.
that are already like doing all this stuff. So he's like, and he just becomes even richer than he already was. Which is like,
Yeah.
it's like a vacuum is made, and just in classic Russian or even American form, like the vacuum is filled by corrupt, like,
Follow the money. This guy directly profited off of the Ukraine war. He
yeah.
did it.
That's.
He,
I mean, the oligarchs of Russia are the ones that are pushing Putin to do this kind of war.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah, follow the money. It works every
Listen.
time.
Yeah.
Listen here, Putin. You go to war with Russia. McDonald's pulls out of Russia. Wait, I'm sorry. You go to war with Ukraine.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
McDonald's pulls out to Russia. I buy McDonald's. and
call
we
it-
make 20 billion fucking dollars.
Call it tasty, and that's it.
This is good.
What do we call it?
This is good plan, but I need to know name of your proposed
Oh,
restaurant.
but tasty, and that's it.
I love it. Fires the weapons.
And the weapons are broken down trucks. Russian convoys just breaking down
Oh
all the
yeah,
time.
for sure.
Well, I mean, that was
They're-
that was 3 weeks ago when I had the mental capacity to remember what the fuck was going on.
It
there.
was longer than that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's been lasting
it's
forever.
I mean, it's not going well over there. I paid a little bit of attention. I don't know. I'm kind of in a weird space where I'm like, can I just like not care about anything else in the world but America for like a week, please? Like,
Yeah.
just let me focus on that for a sec so I can figure out what's going on.
Even like, can I fucking just focus on myself for a little bit?
Sure,
Like, can I,
that's kind of what I mean.
like
I just,
even like
yeah.
then. Get up!
Wake up.
Wake up! Wake up!
Oh, I was snapping like in the support of poetry.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
It's just like
I see.
I have so much like personal medical issues I'm just trying to fucking deal with right now.
Is your tooth still fucked?
My tooth is still fucked, but thankfully
That
it's not too
sucks.
bad right now.
Still trying to get that abortion.
Yeah, which can't happen now.
Jeez. It's bad times all around. I don't really know what to even say.
Xander said yeah
Other
to
than-
that question, so that means I can put him in jail now.
Mm.
I can't even really talk about that without like what I want to say I'm not going to be able to upload. So
Mhm.
Yeah, your hot pro life stance probably isn't going to do well with our listeners.
no, I'd be calling for political violence if I
Yeah.
talked.
Same.
So
I the funniest at least interactions I saw on Twitter were like, do y'all know who John Hinckley Jr. is?
I don't think so.
John Hinckley Jr. Long time ago, he tried to kill Reagan.
Oh,
He tried to kill Reagan
yeah.
and
I
to
watched
impress
the video,
to
like-
impress Jodie Foster.
Like 3 days ago, I watched the video of this happen.
And he's fucking, and he's just like one of those things where you're just like, God, I wish he had succeeded. And so he released like a couple months ago, or not even earlier this month, and he's on Twitter, he's active on there, and he's releasing music and stuff.
he's
And-
releasing music.
yeah, he was a musician.
That's kinda
He wasn't a very
insane.
good, like he wasn't very popular. He's trying to get a venue in Texas right now. And I'm just like, yes, I'll go
Oh,
to
I
any
would
fucking
go to
show
that
for John
show.
Hinckley Jr.
That'd be so funny.
And he, one of the funniest Twitter interactions is like someone like, where's John Hinckley Jr. to save us right now in regards to the Supreme Court? And the best interaction was just like, let the man rest. Let the man rest. He has done
He
enough for this
served his
country. He has done enough for this country. Let the John Hinckley Jr. of this generation.
I saw a fantastic meme. Do you know the format of like boys with a time machine, girls with a time machine?
Yeah.
The girls with a time machine one was I'm your granddaughter.
Yeah.
And the other one was a guy going back to John Hinckley Jr. and saying Jody prefers a larger caliber round.
Yeah, she is hot.
I love those videos.
We killed Xander. He's joking.
Oh, I'm dying here. I love those videos of Jodie Foster, like a supercut of Jodie Foster, like younger, referencing like anytime it's just like, do you have a boyfriend or do you have a girlfriend? Oh, do you have a boyfriend? She's like, no, because I don't know if you know Jodie Foster. She's lesbian. And she's been one for a while, obviously, ever since she was fucking born.
You know, when she decided to become a lesbian.
When she came out like relatively late.
I know what you mean. I know.
Just because like whatever, but it's just funny to like look back at like young, like videos of her like really young and like the clear, like she's into women.
Sure.
Look, like she'll be surrounded by like gorgeous women like as a teenager and just be like clearly into them.
I just want to keep it vague. I want the audience to be guessing forever.
On who? For
On
you?
me, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
I have a lot to say. I don't think we're the right people.
I
For
love this.
For what? For abortion stuff?
it's fucked up, right?
I mean, yeah, it's so fucked up.
It's just fucked up. Vote, I guess. Vote. Go vote.
Sure.
And the other hellscape news, the Ape Fest shit. I loved seeing that.
Oh, the Bored
Well,
Ape Yacht.
you also
Club
the- yeah,
is
the-
Nazi's thing.
You had linked that video, which was great. The Bored Ape Nazi.
I'm.
I don't fully.
Let's talk about that video.
I like.
I guess let's introduce it.
Yeah,
For
please.
people that
You
don't
know it a little more.
Do you know what we're talking about, Jake?
No.
Okay, so there is a NFT collection, one of the biggest ones in the world, called Bored Ape Yacht Club. I mean, obviously, like, it's a scam. We all know this.
Yeah.
That's not what we're talking about, though. The other part is there was recently a documentary on YouTube about how Bored Ape Yacht Club is like a neo-Nazi. I don't know. I don't even know. Like, can you help me explain this? I don't know.
It's kind of, that's the tough thing.
It's like it's so hard to explain because it's all like deep, like 4chan brain rot incel shit. Like,
it's like that's the fascinating thing about that I really liked about that documentary.
Yeah.
I didn't fully like all of his points because I think he needed an editor to kind of be like, you're not making the point as strongly as you would in the order that you're making it. Personally,
Sure.
Like it's very minor nitpicks.
I think the thing in that episode, and we'll talk about like specific details about what he was talking about, but like it's more of a accumulation of like, here is the info about this project that we know. And a lot of it is from like weird neo-Nazi, like right wing, like hidden meaning, like 1488 shit, like all these like like hidden code in the stuff. Like I think it's very compelling, but
I agree.
I don't know.
So here's like the post irony culture.
Yes.
Particularly of the internet and like specifically of 4chan. 4chan. Where it's like I had been steeped in it for so long, like Reddit.
I mean, I know those references from being on the internet. Yeah.
Reddit, 4chan. Like I was terminally online for a really long time.
I'm still terminally online. I would say.
I probably am too, but not to the extent that I was. Particularly like in college, I was like super online all the time. Here, like now, I have a little bit more of a life, just like like a little bit more, not much. So when he was explaining it, I understood. I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like these, like a picture of like some numbers here or whatever here, indicating more Nazi symbology was like, it's so clearly intentional, right? Like even if like everyone involved in the project may not be involved as a Nazi or like even fully support Nazi ideology, they are supporting perpetuating Nazi symbology.
I don't believe that everyone that owns a Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT is a Nazi.
Yeah.
So that is not the point. That is not what we're trying to say. And I think there's a lot of compelling evidence that the creators of this are like right-wing trolls.
Yeah.
Like trying to make a piece of propaganda, basically.
Yeah.
They're trying to do esoteric racism. I mean, it's kind of hard to dispute that.
There's what this like the documentary kind of hit on that I am still kind of struggling to wrap my head around sometimes. It's just like this, there's like layers of, I guess it's like psychic energy. Like I don't even know how to explain it, but like there's like
they talk about iceberg theory. Would that be helpful in kind of explaining what your point is?
I mean, it might. Like sure. let me like kind of, because I'm still wrapping my head around it. I haven't like talked it out.
Yeah.
There's like the layer of normie culture, right? Yes. And like everyone still thinks the world is this way.
Sure.
Like they're not seeing like there isn't symbols and like manipulation of your mind going on all over the place.
Everything is face value.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like the you know, they fully accept that Democrats will figure this one out. Like like I'm going to like a greater level. Like
I understand what you're saying.
Like everything, like this is just everyone, like it's just everyone always says society's collapsing. Every generation has that. It's fine.
Yeah.
With like the Bored Ape thing, it's like the seeing that symbolic culture of 4chan and the internet, like deep internet, kind of like make its way into normie culture, and you see like Jimmy Fallon actively promoting Nazi propaganda. You're just like you're starting to see like a disconnect if you have like if you're in the middle and you've seen both sides of it. You're just like, it feels so weird. It feels so weird.
It does feel so weird. I mean, because it is just like the Bored Ape Yacht Club is trying to trick people.
Mm-hmm.
Like not even so much in like the hidden codes and meanings way. Like they are gifting these NFTs to famous people to promote them. It is a Ponzi scheme. It is the definition of a Ponzi scheme. More people invest in it. The people at the top make a lot of money. The price floor raises, blah, 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 whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, of course it's Nazi propaganda. It's a Ponzi scheme. Like, would you be surprised if Herbalife was, like, started by, like, a fascist?
No, probably. I mean, like, that probably 100% is
like,
true.
Of course Herbalife was started by a fascist, you know?
like, yeah. I, like, just I don't know, that film and just like this week and this month and this 6 years of our lives has felt so. I feel like it keeps reaching a new low sometimes.
We're not there yet.
We're not there yet. Like, yeah, new lows keep happening. This is the the old Homer Simpson, Bart Simpson meme. It's like this is the worst day of my life. This is the worst day of your life so far. I don't know, like what I was getting. It's just like that whole fucking.
What was the thing that stood out to you that you like didn't?
Okay, so
didn't like about
occasionally he would make this point where he would kind of go off a little bit on the deep end. Like the first point he made was kind of his own personal opinion. It felt like, and I haven't read the article, but it was reading essentially Yuga Labs. It kind of they say it's based off of this obscure villain from Zelda. I don't think anyone would have based it off of obscure villain. He would occasionally say things like that,
where he would like insert his opinion,
and it was just like. If you honestly took that out and just focused on instead whatever ride the Yuka Kali.
Surf the Kali Yuka.
Yeah, surf the Kali Yuka. If you just just made that point alone, cool. That's all you needed. I felt like that was enough. He would just occasionally insert his own like internal opinion. Yeah. That just wasn't like it would.
I've been a Philion fan for a long time though. Like he kind of does that.
Yeah.
Like I like his content, but I hear that criticism and I understand that.
That criticism, I want to dig into a little more here because I just read the whole article.
Okay. What'd you think? That's also not written by Philion. That's written by Ryder Rips.
Yeah. Okay, well then I read it.
A very influential modern artist.
Point by point, it seems like each one of them doesn't really stand on its own. When you combine them together, you kind of paint a coherent picture, and it starts to make a little more sense. Like I think any one of them could have been pulled.
I mean, the logo's pretty.
The logo,
damning.
That's pretty on the nose. Everything
it's literally
else,
a Totenkopf.
Everything
it's like
else,
an SS symbol.
I think if these people are doing a thing that is malicious, then they're doing a pretty good job of walking the line of plausible deniability.
I mean, that is what 4chan is trolling and getting away with it. That is like the thing you're trying to do.
But I understand him injecting his own opinion into it and everything. It feels necessary to bring up the counter argument that's going to come out about, it's the thing they said, which was it's based off of a Legend of Zelda character, this name. Like, for him to just not mention that at all.
No, what I thought was kind of like a weak point is when he's personally just like, I don't think that this makes sense. I think it's more just like, they say it's based on this. However, this is like this whole symbology, like Ride the Kali Yuga or Yuka.
I think it's Yuga.
Ride the Kali Yuga is like, it's so prominent in the culture that they say they're a part of.
And it's also a thing like you don't know that it exists. Nobody knows what Kali Yuga is unless you're terminally online or a fascist.
Yeah.
Those are the only people that understand that. The only people that understand 1488 are people that are terminally online or if you're a fascist. That's, it's so easy to get away with it because nobody knows what it is.
How do we use this for good?
How do we use it for good? I don't know.
Like
harass Bored Ape. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, they had that like Ape Fest this week, right? Like it was just like a
and they had their Boogaloo Boy monkey out there.
It was just so weird, like to watch that documentary and then see one of my favorite bands performing LCD Sound System with like, oh cool, LCD Sound System just playing in front of fucking the Nazi symbology. Cool.
Hey, their money spins.
I mean, no, it does. Like that's the thing. I'm curious if
that's kind of a fucked up. That's kind of fucked up. You don't take money from fascists. What do you say?
Well, like they don't know because they're not terminally online.
They don't know. Yeah.
And like the Haim sisters, they performed, and the Haim sisters are Jewish.
Like, just try to imagine. Also, I have something I want to say about that. Being Jewish does not mean you're not a fascist. You can be a Jewish fascist.
I mean,
you can be a fascist of any kind. Being a certain race or ethnicity does not absolve you from being a bad person. That's such a bad faith argument when people say like, oh, like that's one of the creators of Bored Ape Yacht Club is like, I can't be a Nazi. I'm Jewish.
Yeah.
Like, what are you fucking talking about?
Oh, and like another point, I texted you the CEO lady.
Oh, sure.
Like what I
full of
what is it? What is it that like? I mean, I've only seen a few female CEOs, and I get that it's a tough industry.
And I want to see less. He says,
but every time I see them interviewing and clearly lying, they do the Elizabeth Holmes. I really want to, I just really want to emphasize here that we are a...
They get like precious about it.
Yeah,
they're like, we're very serious.
We're very serious. Yeah. We want to, we are not racist.
I mean, guys do that too, though.
No, 100%. It's just when I've there's just something about that lying kind of voice. It just reminded me of Elizabeth Holmes very quickly.
Yeah, it did.
So back to the using it for good.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about it a little bit here. What you do is you make racist, Nazi, fascist, homophobic propaganda, and you subtly slip in little pieces of like the trans flag, the color scheme.
Yeah, for sure.
Or you do like a peace symbol in the background or something.
I don't think
you have to make something.
I don't think this is a good idea.
You have to make something
because ultimately, I know you're joking, but ultimately you're still promoting Nazi symbology because it's still there.
Okay, so maybe don't promote the symbology. You have to find something that only, because like you said, this is it's like false flags for people. Only fascists and people on the internet would understand it. So you make something that only people on the internet would understand, and
that's what this show is.
Yeah, and you slip it in. You slip in stuff that only people who interact with the real world would understand.
Like what?
Like, you guys ever notice how when you're standing in line for a long time, it's kind of annoying?
Okay, Jerry.
What are you? What's going on over there? What's going on in Jake's world?
I don't know. I don't care about any of this stuff.
That's okay.
I mean, I get that it's important, but I don't like.
I mean, is it important? It's not really important.
Okay, so here's where I argue that it kind of is, and maybe it's just me. There's this fucking mental war going on, for our mind space.
Okay. I'm so out on saying mental warfare because that's the whole Christian bullshit, spiritual warfare thing.
No, I mean, I know that's the angle I'm coming from because that's where I was raised, but it feels just so insidious. These images and our fucking day to day is just seemingly filled with it.
Yeah,
and I think it's important to know the symbols that are getting thrown at you.
I think you need to be somewhat people. This is for everybody, especially people over 40. Get on the internet. What do you think the internet's gonna be gone? These old people that don't understand anything, they need to learn. You have to figure out the new stuff or you're going to get caught by scammers and people trying to run fascist organizations, You have to be aware of shit or you're just going to get eaten alive. My parents are the most propaganda. They will fall for literally any propaganda. It does not even have to be well made.
Yeah. Responsible usage of the internet is something that we kind of passed the point of being able to teach. That is a valuable life skill that I think people going forward would benefit from having. In a slight tangent here, managing people over 40.
Yeah. I'm very ageist these days.
Xander, how old are you? You're turning 30, right?
Yeah.
Has it ever occurred to you that you're turning the age of your run Logan style? Logan's run? Yeah, you're about to either die or do your run in the lore of this universe.
You already made it past Jesus age.
How would you feel that you are this is, if you look back on your life now in the Logan's Run universe, do you feel like it was a good run? You feel like 30 is the good number to kill everyone at? Because I am planning on running very soon.
No, because I feel like my life's just getting started sometimes.
I don't think we should kill old people. I think we should make them not vote after 65.
Trying to think on that.
If you
brain trust over here.
I'm a 55-year-old senator, and I just outlawed abortion because all of my constituents died during COVID, and I need to replace them because I'm only 55, which means in 20 years, when the kids being born because of this being passed right now are born, they will be voting for me still in 20 years at 75.
Also keeps people having kids prevents people from wanting being able to move as easily as well. So that's another reason it keeps people in the cities that they're in without lose less people moving out as well.
They're just going for mass pain, it's the most painful conclusion we could possibly get to.
Let me be clear. I am pro choice. My two stances are anti-life and pro.
Also, we
anti-choice.
need to stop saying pro-life. Pro-life is not an accurate description of what this is.
Well, right. So to that point, to that end here, I have to believe this idea that no one who is acting for thinking that they are evil and is just deciding to do evil. So I'm like trying to, obviously I
think you're wrong.
Well, there's the Christian side of it. There's like the obviously hardcore religious people are like abortion's wrong and everything. And that's
it literally doesn't say it in the Bible.
It doesn't, but that's not what matters for these people.
You're right.
So that appeals to their voting base, but like it's hard for me to imagine one of these people sitting there and thinking, yes, I am in power. Now let's do the worst thing possible with it purely for evil's sake.
I think they don't think about it. I think they just want power, and like it's just motivated by power, it's motivated by control.
Right.
Like that there's not a step 2 to their thought process, It's just let's make these people we don't like go away.
Well, on the maybe like slightly silver lining side, if you could call it that, do you feel like this will push to like a big blue wave for the next election?
They're already fundraising off of this shit. The Dems could have codified Roe v. Wade like while Obama was in office and just didn't do it. So fuck anybody that says fuck Ruth Bader Ginsburg too. Old hag should have retired. I'm gonna go deface her.
I've got a few
mural.
good years left on this bench. I didn't fight to not. Oh, sorry, gotta go see my doctor. I'll be back.
These fucking old people. I just anybody over 60 needs to shut the fuck up forever and never talk.
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I feel like
that. Yeah.
I feel like there should be maybe a little more emphasis put on younger generation in regards to like. Representation and policy, but to completely get rid of a portion of populations, like
it's not discriminatory. It's everyone's gonna make it to 65, and then you just stop voting. Like just let's make that. You can still talk about politics. You can still like lobby for stuff, but like I don't need you making decisions for me if you're gonna die in 20 years. I got a lot more life to live. I'm going to make my own decisions.
Do you feel like you feel that way at 60?
Yeah, definitely. I'm not going to want to control things at 60. I'm going to want to fuck off and do my own thing.
Yeah.
Only the worst people are trying to hold on to power at 65 plus, that those are bad people.
As far as representation goes, and I know this sounds like a joke, but I am thinking about it. Pro the idea of a kid senator. You just have one of them, or like the equal proportions of it.
That's funny.
Have you watched The Foundation? And this I forget if this is in the book. The book kind of quickly glazes over this period in the series, but the TV show focuses on it. Sorry, Foundation, written by Isaac Asimov. Okay, little sci-fi series.
I like Isaac.
I think he's better in short story form than he is in novel form.
He wrote iRobot, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the movie is very different than the story.
I like the short story. The short story is good.
In Foundation, they have the leader, the rulers are a young boy, a person our age, and an elder. And just like they rule together. I think most power is given to the person who's in the middle. And then when the old person dies, the middle person assumes. Yeah, like
this is a great idea.
To be fair, the Foundation starts with them in power, and it's like the Foundation is the whole thing is like, hey, so your galaxy spanning empire is collapsing because you suck. So
hey, they got to galaxy spanning empire. We're here, not that close.
I think everyone should kind of read it for. Because I think it's kind of relevant in regards to the American Empire collapsing. One of the things I found super fascinating in Foundation was like they were telling them like, hey, your empire's collapsing, but it's not going to collapse for another 1,000 years because it's so big, but you cannot stop it from collapsing. It is going to these things are like slowly happening and starts off small, but over 1,000 years, it's going to fully like your empire is just going to become nothing and just gonna become a bunch of disparate states. And like you kind of see that with American because it's just like
there's this weird like American thought process of like nothing's ever going to change, but that's just so asinine.
Yeah,
like anywhere else on the world, like you've probably had your country name change in the last like 100 years.
Yeah.
Or you've been occupied and had your freedom in the last 100 years. You know, like Russia was the Soviet Union in the 80s.
Yeah.
Do we think that's like America can't fall?
I mean,
like, what are we talking
You
about?
go back 100 years ago, we were just becoming a superpower, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's just post-war 100 years ago. We are barely, like, we've changed so rapidly in that
It was
amount of time.
Prussia, you know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, like, why do people think it's going to stay like this?
Yeah.
We
Rome.
we have so little perspective. We
Yeah.
we don't have the history of like such changes happening. Like these other countries do.
Yeah.
We don't have the history of it, so we're just like expansion, nothing but good things, nothing but good things. Like expansion. We're a superpower. We're forever a superpower.
Yeah.
And now we're at this like post weird state where it's like we're not.
It's like late stage Roman Empire shit.
I mean, yeah, it feels there's an alternative late stage Roman Republic before it goes fully into dictatorship,
Oh, sure.
tyranny, right?
Can't wait for
That paid
the
off some
burning
of the times.
I mean, they expanded. They took over, most of the known world of Europe. So
Yeah, and some of the emperors were good. Sure, some of them were evil, and it was
There's
an
no
awful
such
time to
thing
be
as a
alive.
good emperor.
There were. I contend,
How many slaves did the Roman Empire hold? Okay.
Well,
How many
It wasn't
countries
race
did they
based.
conquer? Yes, it was. What are you talking about?
It was more like region based.
What are you talking about?
It's a little more fair.
their worlds were so tiny that like they were just like those slightly whiter people should be slaves, or those slightly browner people should be slaves. Like it was a little racist. They just didn't have the term racism.
Yeah. The whiteness was not established at that point.
Those were the good old days when whenever it wasn't all about race all the time, and you could just enslave someone without being called a bigot.
Now the Germanic tribes have pronouns, and we can't even talk to them. Oh God.
Tell you what.
Yeah.
Speaking of empires,
What about it?
have y'all heard of Triple R?
No.
Triple
No.
R. It's on Netflix, and I highly recommend we watch it together sometime.
Okay.
It's a 3-hour Indian epic. It is one of the greatest movies I have seen.
It's like a Bollywood.
It's Tollywood, which apparently is another region of
Okay.
India that makes films.
Okay.
I mean, it's a fucking huge country.
Indian action movies are insane.
They're insane. This one is like one of those movies where it's being finally like it's the movie that they're marketing. It's kind of like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, where it's like, hey, here's this
It's
movie
for
that
Western
that
audiences
crosses the
specifically.
regions.
Okay.
It's still but the thing is, it's still super wears its influences on its like sleeves.
I love Indian
So
filmmaking.
it like
it's really good.
it's a buddy romantic comedy where it's just like these two 1920s Indian revolutionaries, historical people. These are like legit historical people, but in this movie they're action stars. So it's like
Hell yeah.
it's like if we had Abraham Lincoln and
Vampire killer.
Abraham Lincoln and General Grant as like best buds fighting together across the United States.
That sounds cool.
So they become these best buds, and they're like these superheroes. The credits don't even the title sequence doesn't start until 40 minutes into the movie. It's 3 hours long. It is a romantic comedy. It is an action adventure film. It is a historical drama. It is a musical.
It's a musical.
It is so fucking good.
Sounds fun.
There's a middle period where the main characters they get to know each other, but they're opposing sides, but they don't know they're opposing sides. Like one is trying to hunt the other, but they don't know that they're hunting that person. Like he's just walking
Right.
around with a picture. He's like, I'm looking for this guy. And his best bud's like, I don't know who that is. it's me, but I don't know who that is. They're just like, but it's an hour period in the middle of the movie where they're just hanging out, having a good time in India.
That sounds.
It's so
very
fun.
wholesome.
There's like amazing dance scene in the middle of this movie. There's multiple like musical moments.
Hollywood's crazy. I mean,
it's
Hollywood's crazy with the dance stuff too.
how it's able to balance like this crazy, insane, like hyperkinetic, like action movie, like over the top, or like overly spectacled. This drama was just like masterful.
Good stuff.
Legitimately masterful. There's a scene where this guy's getting fucking whipped
Okay.
One of the main characters is getting whipped with these barbed fucking wires.
He's getting
by
whipped with barbed wire.
by his best friend, who's like, I have to do this. I'm the one that has to do. He's getting whipped by his best friend.
Why is his best friend hitting? With
Because his best friend's a cop hunting him.
So
one of the main characters is this dude who's trying to save this little girl from British imperialists.
Okay.
So they just kidnapped her. They're like, she does henna tattoos really well. We want her. So this dude is just like, no, I got to save her. So he goes to save her. But at the same time, his best friend, who's just as like a superhero action movie star, is a cop who's tasked with taking down.
I see
that. But they run into each other, saving this kid from this river, who's drowning from this river in this explosion. It's insane. I don't want to talk about that, but insane movie.
Okay.
He's getting whipped.
Yeah.
The main character, he's getting whipped, and he starts breaking out into like this ballad. It's like raining, and it's raining, like blood is, and like the movie like commits to the gore too. So it's like this gory blood, and he's just like singing. He's like, I'm going to do this for my friends. I have to save this girl for the Indian spirit. That's another thing. It's propaganda too, which is kind of fun. It's a fun Indian propaganda film of these two bros hanging out, and it's one of my favorite movies of all time.
See, guys, we don't always hate propaganda. We like Top Gun.
We like Top Gun.
You know.
We like movies that like they're just like, yeah, we're propaganda. Accept it. Have fun though.
That does bring me to a very important point.
What's up, dog?
I did see Top Gun. So next week I will not be here because your boy Jake is joining the United States Navy.
Oh, fuck.
So,
Sick.
Tune in next time whenever we have a guest replacing me while I'm out saving the world from communism.
Cool.
There's actually a couple of things we should talk about on the show just for audience purposes. This episode will go up on Tuesday, but after this week, we're going to switch upload day to Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So Jake is not hard. I know we talked about that, but unfortunately, Jake has to work.
And I'm checking right now. I'm checking. Like I'm feeling around, and it's soft as a baby's bottom.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we will do the hard cast at some point. Sorry, we keep promising.
It
will happen.
You may get a call from me next week.
Ooh.
Where I am extremely erect in the Navy admissions office.
Donate to our Patreon, $2,000.
We need to,
and we can get a phone call from Jake in the Navy recruitment office.
Yeah, they don't let you bring your phone in. They still have one pay phone, but with inflation, there's so many quarters you have to put in.
$2,000.
Yeah.
This has been Mouse Out of Wedlock. Thank you so much for being our biggest fan.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mom.
I love you.
I love you. So you can find us on the internet. You can find me on Twitter at James Urkel Jones. Also my Venmo at THEJAKEB. Please send me some money, please.
You can find me at Zan Francisco 69 on Twitter.
You can find me at Colt45Joyce on Twitter, Colt Joyce on YouTube. I think I mentioned Marathon. That's mostly just on podcast platforms, but I may upload that somewhere more visible at some point. So be on the lookout for that sometime soon. Thank you.
We love you.